another episode of The Moral Compass, where four friends come together to navigate the complex world of ethics and morality. I'm Cheska, your host, and I'm joined today by Ilian, Angela, and Juliana.
Hi, I'm Ilian. It's great to be here today to talk about a topic that's been on our minds lately.
Yes, we've been having some interesting debates about the ethics of stage interventions.
And we thought it would be a great idea to share our thoughts with the world and hear from our listeners on this topic.
So, what exactly is stage intervention, and why do we consider it to be an ethical issue?
A stage intervention is when a group of people come together to confront someone about their problematic behavior and encourage them to seek help.
The ethics of stage interventions come into question because it involves forcing someone to confront their issues, which can be harmful if not done in a sensitive and respectful way.
And there is also the risk of causing more harm than good, especially if the person being confronted is not ready to receive help or if the intervention is not carried out in the right way.
That's a great point, Juliana. So, here's my question. Are stage intervention objectionably paternalistic? Since addicts for whom an intervention is necessary would almost never willingly agree to get professional help for their addiction.
Well, yes, I agree. It is objectively paternalistic because we decide for them to get stage intervention. But even if it's paternalistic, the decision will benefit other people because drug abuse can cause harm to other people, and drug abuse can lead to unwanted crimes.
Stage interventions can be seen as objectionably paternalistic kasi they often involve the intervention of others in the life of an individual who may not want to agree, who may not want or agree to seek help for their addiction. In these situations, the interventionists are making decisions on behalf of the individual and kinda taking control of the situation, which can be perceived as intrusive, pakikialam, and overstepping boundaries. However, it's also important to consider the motivations behind stage interventions and yung potential benefits din. For many individuals struggling with addiction, wala silang kakayahan or willingness to seek help on their own, and an intervention can be a necessary step in getting them help that they need. Ultimately, the ethics of stage interventions is para sa akin a complex and in one's issue. And it depends on one individual circumstances, two, the nature of the addiction, and three, the intentions and motivations of the interventionist. Importante na i-approach natin yung situations like this with empathy and sensitivity and to consider the best interests of the individual in question while also respecting their autonomy.
Well, almost, and because an intervention can be done as soon as someone begins to show signs of addiction. So, kailangan nga natin na, yun nga, same with Angela, kailangan natin mag-show ng empathy and sensitivity. But as we all know, sometimes family members destroy their addicted loved ones' stash of drugs or alcohol by flushing them down the toilet or throwing them in the garbage. The hope is that this will make it more difficult to use the drugs that are doing such harm. But drugs and alcohol can be incredibly expensive or dangerous to obtain. So, do you guys think that this i- that it is morally justified to destroy a stash or drugs or alcohol as a way of helping an addict? Why or why not?
The question of whether it is morally justified to destroy alcohol. as a way of helping an addict is a complex and controversial issue. On one hand, the destruction of drugs and alcohol can be seen as well-intentioned action taken by a loved one to help an addict overcome their addiction by removing access to drugs or alcohol. It can make more difficult for the addict to use and reduce the harm they experience as a result of their addiction.
On the other hand, destroying someone else's property without their consent can be seen as an infringement on their rights and autonomy. Additionally, the act of destroying drugs or alcohol can potentially put the addict in a dangerous situation, especially if they are addicted to substances that are difficult or dangerous to obtain.
I think that the ethical justification of destroying someone's stash of drugs or alcohol depends on a number of factors, such as the nature of addiction, the motivation of the person destroying the stash, and the potential consequences of their actions. In this situation, it's important to consider the best interest of the addict, as well as their rights and to approach the situation with empathy, compassion, and a deep understanding of the complexities of addiction.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree. Yeah, yeah.
So I think that's it. And with that, we've come to an end of today's episode of The Moral Compass by yours truly, Ilian, Juliana, and Angela. For thank you for joining me today again.
Thank you, Iska.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iska. See you guys on the next episode.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.